out your favorite Metro Atlanta teams as they do battle on the gridiron. It's your high school game of the week, live streaming free Friday nights on RealTalkSports.net. For more sports coverage and great sports talk, catch the Real Talk Sports Show Tuesdays, 8 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch. Brought to you by Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, a business giving back to their community. Give them a call at 678. I got okay, darn it, we're back. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons. Thank you for joining us here on the Real Talk Sports Show. Appreciate each and every one of you who decided to tune in here on the broadcast tonight. We're going to be talking about the Atlanta Hawks, of course, red hot. They are balling out in some just insane way right now. And also we're going to be talking about youth sports. We're going to be talking some high school football. One of our good friends, Mr. Barry Brown, and also we bring on the Way family. Corey Way, the proud papa of not one, but two standout football players, one in college, recently transferring from an HBCU to what they call a PWI, which is a predominantly Caucasian institution. He's now in Akron Zip, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about that transition. And also, hopefully I get my green screen to work, because I can realize now I'm looking at the camera, I got about 9 different colors coming on here. So we're going to try to tighten that up for you. And then we're going to bring on Barry Brown and some of our other guests for this evening. Let's see if we can kind of change the backdrop here, give you a little different flavor, and see if that looks a little better. No, it seems like I got a situation up in here with my green screen. I don't have enough light. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, something is happening here with my green screen. Everything's gone wild now. My face is looking crazy. All right, that's the way it was live. You know, anytime you're live, anything could happen. So appreciate those of you who are watching. Let me get my good buddy, Mr. Barry Brown, on the air. Barry, welcome back to the show, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening, Jonathan. How you doing?
You'll be doing great, man, if I get my technology to work right. I got all kind of things happening with my virtual stage, and I fell off. My face is all shiny. If my mother was alive, she said, "Dear, your face is awful shiny." Right? That's how your mom tell you. Did you wipe off your face, dear? You're awful shiny.
That's right. That's right. But you look good, man. That's just, a little glow. You glowing, my brother. You got a little glow to you. You know what I'm saying?
I might have too much glow. That's all right. Praise the Lord. We're here. That's the main thing. Well, brother, it's good to have you back on the show, man. We appreciate you for popping in. Just tell us a little bit about what's been going on. I think you got something happening big this week.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, it's going down tomorrow, man. So first and foremost, thank you for always having me on the show. I appreciate it, man. And so tomorrow you'll be one of our guests that's there. Allen Vision Ford, Mr. Jonathan Simmons, Real Talk Sports. We have the South Fulton Scholarship Student Athlete Luncheon tomorrow over at Elegant Occasions Event Center, man, featuring the scholarship student athletes, meaning that these are the young men and the young ladies that have signed letters of intent to go on and further their athletic careers, either with an academic scholarship and or an athletic scholarship. So we're talking about Westlake High School. We're talking about Banneker. We're talking about Tri-Cities. We're talking about Creekside and Langston Hughes, the South Fulton Public High Schools over there, man. And we're excited. We've been doing this luncheon since 2015. We took off the 2 COVID years, 2020 and 21, came back strong in 22, man. And hey, we're just excited to always celebrate these young people, recognize them. We have some great guest speakers that'll be in the building tomorrow, man. And so I must shout out State Representative District 67, Mrs. Lydia Glaze, because she is the founder of this luncheon. We met at an anti-stop the violence campaign back in uh, 2014, and
Okay.
so um, she saw me speak at that rally at the church over there in Fairburn, at a church over in Fairburn. And so we connected when I got, off, finished speaking. And man, we talked and we came together, man. And she's been a tremendous mentor to me. And so we thank all the sponsors, all the great volunteers and all the people that have come together. And of course, all the great coaches, the athletic directors that have been to these amazing schools over the years. We thank them because, as you know, Creekside just won a state championship in football this past year. They've had, I mean, region championships galore from Westlake and Langston Hughes, and what Tri-Cities is doing over there in basketball. They won a state title. They didn't win this year, but they won last year in boys basketball. So, hey, man, a lot of great things going over in South Forts, and I know they get a lot of bad press sometimes on the negative end, but we celebrate the greatness tomorrow as we've been doing since 2015, man. So youth education and sports, the student athlete achievement program, we're excited to celebrate these young people tomorrow.
Yeah, no doubt. Great stuff going on in the South Side, South Fulton. Like you say, again, legendary champions from there. Creekside ran the table 15-0. I think their closest game was actually the title game, state title game. I think that was the only. I think it was the only game they did not win by at least double digits. And matter of fact, they were averaging a staggering plus 30 in the playoffs up to that game. Just an unbelievable campaign. And they've had this before. They have produced great players, including a legendary NFL defensive back Eric Berry, Creekside graduate, and of course, sadly, the last time they won a title was around the sad death of a young man, actually during a practice, and they went on and won the state title that year as well. So big shout out to Creekside. Of course, South Fulton has been one of the dominant. Excuse me. Langston Hughes has been one of the dominant high school programs in football last couple of years. They themselves won, I believe, the state title in 2022 or 2023, one of the two, and then was back and got upset in the semifinals, I think, the next year. So a big shout out to everybody that's doing some big things down there in South Fulton County, man. Appreciate that. Well, speaking of doing big things, man, how about those Hawks? The Atlanta Hawks. Man. Winners of 12 of their last 13 games. And the Hawks find themselves in the position I told everybody they really want to be in at the very least, which was in the 6th spot to avoid the notorious play-in game.
Yes, sir. Well, hey, man, shout out to the Hawks. As we talked about many times on Real Talk Sports, Jonathan, I was an advocate of, moving on from Trae Young, and now you see what that result has yielded. You got a team that's playing great team ball. You got a point guard. You got some wing men, and then you got Kuminga coming in, having a big game since the trade. So now you have a true team atmosphere. Nobody stepped out. Jalen Johnson is our all-star. However, this is a true team, and Coach Snyder has these young men playing at a high level. And hey, they're in that 6th spot. They just destroyed the Grizzlies last night. I mean, that was unbelievable. Right. And so now watch them as they get ready to end the regular season. Is going to be very interesting to see what they can do in the playoffs, especially if they hold on to that 6th spot where they don't have to play in the play-in. If they go with that 6-3 with the Knicks matchup, I believe they can beat the Knicks. From what I'm seeing right now, I believe they can beat the Knicks. So it's exciting, man. It's an exciting time again for the Atlanta Hawks, man. And this came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? This came out of nowhere. So I'm excited. No, and hey, go Hawks.
Well, at the end of the day, I mean, I want to say this again. A lot of people in the press, they had their opinions about Trae, and this is why I tell people about him. I mean, as far as Trae is concerned, I don't think he was really a selfish player. A lot of people say, the guy's selfish. No, you can't really be a selfish player and average double-digit assists every year. You really can't do that. The problem right. with Trae is that his style of play was really more reminiscent of what I grew up watching from point guards in the 80s and 90s, where they were ball dominant. Everything ran through them. The offense ran through them. And if you were under 6'4", 6'5",
Mhm.
your team made sure you had a legitimate big, somebody that was 6'11", 7 feet, somebody you could run a pick and roll off of, and someone that could, take care of you defensively. Because let's face it, when you're under 6'4", especially in today's
Right.
NBA, you really can't guard pretty much anybody. So the one year the
Right.
Hawks did have something similar to
True.
that. The Hawks, you saw what they did. And then the other big problem is that this is a trade thing again, not so much selfish, but just the inability to grow. Once the NBA took away that foul, where you basically would wait till a guy get in there and jump up into him and get a foul, a lot of people don't remember that was really Trey's game. He was a 90%
Yeah.
foul free throw shooter, and that guy just lived at the line in terms of making those kind of plays. Once that went away, that was it. And last but not least, I don't know what he did when he went out and trained with the real ultimate 3-point shooter and Steph Curry. But
Right.
after that, his 3-point percentage shooting actually went down. And he really has not been the same shooter, from when he had his peak in 21 and 22. And that really was the biggest reason they got rid of him, because at the end of the day, if you can't really do well offensively, and you can't hit that shot that you take repeatedly where you're shooting like near the logo and things like that, yeah, I mean, you got to
Right.
kind of move on. But now the shock was, for me, is like what you said, was the ability of Mr. Salah, I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly, to
Mhm.
get basically players that were languishing on the bench somewhere else and have these guys come in here and immediately make an impact on this team. If
Right.
you go up and down this roster, you look at these guys that were basically, forget role players, they were like way on the bench. Let me give you a couple of guys. For
Right.
example, in the trade that the Hawks made with the Wizards, they said the trade was held up because the Hawks insisted on getting this man,
Yes.
Corey Crispert.
Yes.
Corey Crispert,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
guy I never heard of before in my life. I said, Corey Crispert. I mean, why did they hold out for this guy? I mean,
Right.
had you heard of Corey Crispert before the trade? I don't know, maybe you
I
did.
remember him from I remember him from college. I
College.
didn't remember him from the NBA. I remember him from college. So he was a baller in college. Um
Yes.
however, however, like we talked about, I said Kuminga had a big game since the trade. Kispert has had a big monster game since the trade. So again, they're going back to scouting. They're going back to these guys' reputations from college, and what they were projected to be in the NBA. And they always said, and I think I said this on Real Talk Sports, what has Snyder done since he's become the head coach of the Hawks? Now we can say he's done something because we're seeing it right now. So shout out to Coach Snyder because he's making this thing work. And hey, Coach, Jonathan, listen to this closely now for me. You're talking about Trae Young. Let me just say this for a second. Hey man, I wish Trae Young the best. But when
Right.
it's more than just him being a small point guard. It's more than him going out there and training with Steph Curry. When you are a locker room killer, the attitude of a Trae Young is not going to fit as the leader of the team. He was supposed to be the leader of the team. But if you're the leader and you're causing the dissension on the team, that's just not going to work. And so I think that's what actually happened. So you're the leader. You're not playing at a high caliber. You're not playing at a championship level yourself. Then you're not leading the guys and making anybody better. So yes, you led the league in assists last season, but you did not make your team better at all. That's a sign of terrible leadership. And yes, good luck to him, but it was time for the Hawks and Trae Young to move on. So shout out to Coach Snyder. Shout out to the management for making those trades that they did. And hey, man, at the end of the day, Let's go Hawks. That's it.
Oh, listen, there's no doubt that these guys. You talk about some guys pulling. I remember that when I used to was a kid, they had the cartoons, and it was Rocky and Bullwinkle, and Rocky would always say, "Bullwinkle, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat again." Well, in fact, that's what we've seen repeatedly with Mr. Salah. Because let me get you that trade. So Corey Crisper was the guy that said we got to have. But more importantly, I told somebody CJ McCollum was playing like 2019, bro. I mean, he has come over to the Hawks and been the same type of player that we saw him be
Absolutely.
when he teamed up with Dame back in Portland when the Trailblazers, when they were younger, were making consistent runs to the Western Division deep in the finals into the championships. The other guy that they bring in, again, I didn't know who this guy was from Adam. They said, hey, the Hawks have just signed Jock Landale. I was like, who? They said, Jock Landale. I said, who's that? They brought him in from Memphis.
Right.
That's the Grizzlies. I said, I never heard the guy. But he immediately, in his first game, drove. Now, keep in mind his story. This is like, I thought about the song back in the day, a man from down under. That's what I thought about with him. They said he got in his car and drove 6 hours because he's an Aussie. He drove 6 hours from Memphis to Atlanta. They were like, dude, there were flights. They said like flights from Memphis to Atlanta leave like every hour and a half, just so that you know. And he was like, no, I had to get there because I wanted to get there and be ready, But I'm thinking, you're driving 6 hours. The flight's like an hour. But he was so energized about coming to Atlanta. And in his very first game with the Hawks, this guy basically sets his own personal records in every category. I mean, it was incredible what this guy put up. Let me flash up right here. There was his stats in his first game as a Hawk. 26 points, sir. 11 rebounds, 5 assists after driving 6 hours to Atlanta the night before.
There you go. Well, now you have shown the evidence of a third person that was traded that has had a big game. So you're talking about Kuminga, you're talking about Kisper, and now you're talking about Landale. Hey, these guys are major contributors. Kuminga has the potential to be a star in this league if he continues to develop. So, hey, man, with Jalen Johnson and these other pieces that are now on the Hawks team, hey, man, we are looking good for the future. And we have a draft pick. We have the opportunity to get a high draft pick this upcoming draft. Hey, the Atlanta Hawks could actually end up being like the San Antonio Spurs and, of course, the number one team in the league, the Oklahoma City Thunder, if they get this draft pick right, because they have a lot of young talent, man, that can actually make a run here coming up. I'm very excited to see what they're going to do.
Speaking of the Thunder, you talk about that, the Thunder, I always tell people DNA is strong. I'm trying to see if I can get this picture up here. I can't seem to find a picture, of course, when I don't want it. And we'll never be able to find it. We'll hopefully find it before the show is over at some point. But anyway, speaking of the Oklahoma City, I say to myself, okay, let's take a look here at this gentleman. Eventually, I'll get his picture up here. I'll find it from somewhere. Anyway, I was hoping to get the picture of a guy that really, again, same thing. I knew all I knew was he was the cousin of the reigning MVP. That's all I knew. And I'm talking about the man we just said, nah. Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Walker, yes.
We talk about Jalen Johnson and we talk about all these other guys, but the guy who's the guy you really better watch out for, especially late in the game at the Hawks, is Nickeil Alexander-Walker. The other night, dropped 41, his season high.
Yes.
And in that big blowout win in just 26 minutes, let me take a look at the stat line for Nickeil Alexander-Walker. In 26 minutes in the blowout, 146-107 against Memphis, he played 26 minutes and he scored 26 points. 8 of 11 from the floor, 4 of 6 from three-point range. He has been shooting close to 50% from 3 in the last 5 games for the Hawks.
Listen, you got to always look at pedigree. A lot of people say, man, why are these people getting drafted? A lot of times it's because they're connected to somebody. And then a lot of times they may be the children, the cousins, the nephews of these former pro players. Excuse me. So right here, once again, we've seen it for decades in the NBA. You're seeing a relative, because remember, don't forget, one of the biggest ones of all time is Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. But right
Right.
here,
Right.
right here, you're seeing two young guys. Shea is already there. He's arrived. He is the man. You're talking about, the top player in the NBA, arguably. Then you have his cousin coming up, getting out of the shadow, getting to Atlanta, and being able to show what he can do. And again, if they keep developing this talent, Jonathan, I truly believe we get one more young piece, and we probably going to get it in this draft, hopefully. You're talking about a Hawks team that can go from where they are now to being a top 3 team in the East if they keep developing the way they're developing. And I'm not even a basketball guy like that, Jonathan, but I see it clearly by looking at what Snyder and the Hawks management have done here this season. Unbelievable job, man. Right when you say, hey, throw in the towel, you
Really.
get a team that runs off 13, 14 games in a row. Hey, that's unbelievable.
And really, the biggest thing is that they really have now finally have a team that fits with Coach Snyder, what he wants to do. And Coach Snyder basically is live by the 3, die by the 3. And with the team he had configured before, I was thinking to myself, why does he keep making these guys launch all these threes? Because they really didn't have the shooters to do so. They didn't. I was watching games thinking, man, please stop shooting these threes, please. But not only has he had the Hawks, brother, seriously, bro, I'll be watching and I say, come on, man, please go to basket. But not only has brother, you're watching the game and you're thinking, oh, by the way, they can't hit these. You're watching, you're saying, please, they just can't hit the shot. I'm not mad at anybody, but they can't hit them. Now, with what has really happened here, they have brought guys in that puts them in a position where literally at any given time on the court, at every position, you have somebody can hit for 3, which is astounding. I mean, you basically come out, you all 5 guys can all hit 3s. Your center can hit them. Your power forward can hit them. Your shooting guard can hit them. Everybody can hit these 3s. And it's just, man, remarkable to see that. And, oh, by the way, the last time the Atlanta Hawks went deep in the playoffs, their trademark was live by the 3, die by the 3. When Atlanta was cooking them 3s, man, when they had, Red Velvet and Trey was on his game, even sometimes John Collins, the Hawks, they just, when they got hot from 3, bro, they were nothing nice. And that's exactly what's going on right now. This team has been in this run just tremendous from 3-point range. And like I said, again, the guy, I mean, no disrespect to Jalen Johnson, because, people are talking about him of, potential being an all NBA pick, at least, 3rd or 2nd team pick.
Yeah. Because, he's a top 15 player by far. Yes, sir.
Right. Because his stats speak for themselves. The guy is basically a pinch away from averaging a triple-double for the year.
Yeah.
Averaging.
With a team.
He's at.
Yeah. And here's the key. With a team that's winning, Jonathan.
Right.
With a team that's winning. That's the key to that.
Right. So you say to yourself, man, you look at again, the way Atlanta has put guys together, and guys that, like I said, again, people are saying, who are these guys? For example, if you remember, if you go back, and I pulled this up, there were pundits when the Hawks, again, the same thing, had to make a move when they traded DeJounte away after getting all these draft choices. People are saying, man, the Hawks got fleeced. They got a couple of draft picks, and they got some backup guy named Dyson Daniels. I was like, who?
Yeah.
It's a Dyson Daniels. A guy, again, languishing on the bench.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
This guy comes in his first year, becomes a top 3 candidate for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes, sir.
And had a stretch of about 15 games where he was averaging a staggering 5 steals a game.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing, Jonathan. Yes.
But wait, there's more. He has now developed into being a point guard of very solid skill sets.
Absolutely.
Averaging around 5 assists a game. Matter of fact, let me get the stats right now. So far in this season, he's averaging just under 12 points a game, but he's averaging almost 6 assists a game. And from the guard spot, over 6.5 rebounds a game. And, oh, by the way, is one of the Hawks' best offensive rebounders. And just a couple of years ago, we were saying, Dyson who?
Yes.
Well, what's the big deal about getting him in a trade? So what the Hawks have done is they've taken guys from other teams who have been, again, my word, languishing on the bench and turned them into this mighty army of outstanding NBA basketball.
Let me ask you this, Jonathan. How tall is Dyson Daniels?
He is
how tall is
about 6'6", maybe. Let's go to the tape. According to Basketball Reference, Dyson Daniels is 6'7". What was it? 6'7" and weighs 199 pounds.
So there you go. That's my whole point.
Right.
So he's probably 6'6". You probably said he's probably actually 6'6". So check it out. So they're listing Trae Young at 6'2". Now everybody in the world knows Trae Young is not 6'2". So
you about 6'1", bro.
Basketball is a game for tall people, right?
Right.
So all the dynamic short people, when you start talking about Isaiah Thomas and you start talking about people like Muggsy Bogues, who I still to this day don't understand how he even played in the NBA, but he was making things happen in the NBA at 5'3".
Right.
You start talking about these smaller guards that were dominant. Those are special players. And people forget about Steph Curry. Steph Curry is not that short. Steph Curry is legit 6'3".
Right.
So
and a legit 195 pounds. Every bit of that.
Exactly.
Right.
And the best shooter we've ever seen. So you know this as a sports guy. I know this as a sports guy. If you're diminutive, if you're smaller than everybody else, then you have to have some kind of overcompensating trait that allows you to dominate at a high level. And we did not have that. Now you see a Dyson Daniels that is a 6'6", 6'7" point guard that is turning into a legit point guard in the NBA. And a lot of these guys need is playing time, like you say. So taking your word, languishing on the bench somewhere.
Languishing.
Snyder
hanging out, not doing nothing.
Our scouting department doing a great job of knowing what these guys are doing. They're talking to these other teams, probably legally or illegally. I don't know how that works, but they know what these guys are capable of, and they're at least willing to try and give them more playing time so they can develop. And man, the Atlanta Hawks may have hit the jackpot with all these guys. Now, of course, we're not going to be able to keep all of them as time goes on. However, right now, depending on the contracts that they have, man, we sitting in a good position, especially with this upcoming draft pick that we're going to get. But hey, the season is not over, and I believe this team can make a run at least to the second, possibly the third round, depending on how the brackets fall as far as who they have to play. But I think they can get that first. If they stay in sixth place and they have to play the Knicks, I think that's a winnable opening round playoff series for the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, and let me just say this. I mean, right now, because of injuries to key players, the East is wide open. Let's go to social media here. We got here. Yes. Okay. We got Georgia Go Strategies. He said we forgot.
Oh, Abdul Rauf. Oh, yeah. Right. No doubt. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No doubt. You're right about that. Go Strategies.
AKA formerly Chris Jackson. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Shout out to LSU, Shaq, Stanley Roberts, those great teams. But I also had to give major props to Georgia Tech because, we beat that team. So shout out to Georgia Tech, But Dub Deuce, what's up, Dub Deuce?
Hey, listen, interestingly enough, Abdul Rauf actually lives here in Metro Atlanta and lives on the South Side because when I go over to my local gym here, one day I look up, I see a gentleman with the pepper gray and the goatee, and I was like, yo, I said, Rauf, what's up, my brother? I said, hey, man, what's going on, bro? I said, man, you see, man, he's still out there. He comes and gets his run in. He does, and you look at him, he's doing the same workouts he did when he was in the pros. Still out there doing the run up and down the little hill there, doing the rubber band stretching. And it's just, and a lot of guys, I think, have no idea who he is. They think OG out here trying to do a little something, but yeah,
Right.
yep, he's still a bad man. But yeah, one of the great shooters of all time.
Absolutely.
And speaking of great shooters, they just recently honored Del Curry. They hung his numbers up in a rafter in Charlotte. His number 30 is now hanging in the rafters, and literally, Steph and his brother were actually in Atlanta because they flew into Atlanta after coming from Charlotte. So both him and his brother were there. Steph Curry was there. They were on the bench,
Excellent.
hanging out. So we seen them. It was really cool, man. But yeah, at the end of the day, here's the thing I'm telling you. This is the same scenario when the Hawks made that run in 21-22. It was just the right scenario.
Mhm.
You had that problem with the Sixers where, you had Simmons was kind of, in the funk, and, this guy's a little banged up. And then they got into the head of the big center. And next thing you know, Hawks are by the Sixers. And had not really been for a trade injury, they might have been able to squeeze by the Bucks. So
no,
I think you have the same scenario
right.
here. You got the same situation. And here's the other thing, which is go ahead. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. No. You're right. Go ahead. Yeah, you're right. I'll wait.
Now, here's the other thing here, because I like the stats. The thing that we talked about before, as great as Trae Young was as far as averaging close to 11 assists a game, and the Hawks, even with him on the team and with all the scatterbrain stuff going on, they still normally in the top, 10 in team assists per game. Mm-hmm. But right now, with no quote unquote true top tier point guard, guess who leads the entire NBA in assists per game? If you guess the Atlanta Hawks, you guess right. The Hawks lead the entire NBA with 30.4 assists per game as a team. And that's because oftentimes you'll be watching a Hawk game and look at the stats afterwards, and you will have not one, not two, but three different players with 5 assists or more. And that's really the difference with this team. Matter of fact, again, let's go to the stats and take a look. Okay, in the big game, the blowout against the Grizzlies, let's take a look. Your stat leader for most assists in that game, playing only 22 minutes, was CJ McCollum, 15 points, 9 assists. Right behind him, remember the guy we talked about before? Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 26 points, 6 assists. Jonathan Kuminga, even in garbage time, had 3 assists himself. Muhammad Gay, a guy who basically we're thinking, does he know what to do with the ball? He had 3 assists. Dyson Daniels had 4 assists. So you have all these guys with 4 or 5 assists virtually from every position. And that's really what makes this Hawk team a very dangerous team, because you can't really load up on anybody. If you try to load up on Jalen Johnson, Nickeil's going to get you. If you load up on Nickeil, the OG CJ McCollum will get you.
Absolutely.
CJ McCollum, if he had played with the Atlanta the whole year, he would be no doubt up for a good shot at 6th man of the year.
Oh, absolutely.
You know that about it. So yeah, man, this Hawk team is very well balanced. And last but not least, guys, the Hawks. Remember, they used to be one of the worst defensive teams in the league? No more. The Atlanta Hawks, that's right, the Atlanta Hawks rank in the top 10 in total defense in the NBA. And who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well,
how about those Hawks? All right, well, we're going to talk more sports. We're going to get into some more high school stuff. And we're also going to hopefully have on the Way family as they talk about the things they have going on. They have a 3-star athlete right down the road here at Ola High School in McDonough. He rushed for over 1,100 yards last year. He's a 2-way player. And then recently, the older son, who was a star defensive end at Clark Atlanta, was scoffed up, and he's now at Akron Zip. And we're going to talk to him about that transition from going from an HBCU school to a PWI. That means predominantly white institution, D1 school in Akron. But if you want to find out about that, you got to keep it locked right here for more. The Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back in just a moment. I always tell you, don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Looking for a vehicle? Come to Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We're a family-owned dealership that's been serving the Atlanta area for over 40 years, offering an unbeatable selection of new Fords, Lincolns, and pre-owned vehicles. Enjoy our exceptional customer service and great financing options tailored just for you. Visit us at 6790 Mount Zion Boulevard in Morrow, Georgia, located just 20 minutes from downtown Atlanta. Call us at 678-364-3979 or visit online at allenvigilford.net.
Everybody, we're back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm here with my good buddy, Mr. Barry Brown, as we talked about the metamorphosis of the Atlanta Hawks. Like I said, you can't even recognize this team in their big blowout win against Memphis, which they won, by the way, guys, by almost 40 points, 146 to 107. You had not one, not three, not five, 8 Hawks in double figures. 8. Yeah, you can't make this up, guys. Like I said, again, this team, Barry, I hardly even recognize them from what they were last year.
Right.
Like, whole different ballgame.
You talking about just from earlier this season, Jonathan? I mean, you got to remember they've been under 500.
Absolutely incredible. And once again, there's something
time.
funky going on with my headsets here. We're gonna try to see if we can figure out what's going on with our volume, because we can't hear a daggone thing.
Oh man,
not sure what's going on, but we're gonna reboot here, and hopefully we'll be able to hear everybody. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. Just hang tight. I'll play a commercial while I'm going. I'll play our theme. Hang on.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
I'm going to have Barry talk again. Hopefully I can hear him. Like you said, right now, my sound is...
Yes, sir.
It's
Can you hear me right now?
Again, some bugs in the machine. Taking over.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah, let me try something else here. No, I'm still not getting anything.
Okay.
Something is going
1 2
on.
1 2.
All right. I'm going to try to change browsers, and then we'll be back with more. I'm going to try to go to another browser and see if we can kind of get ourselves back to basics here.
I got you. So as we're waiting for Jonathan to come back, we'll see. Hopefully we can get these browsers. So thank you for bearing with us through these technical difficulties. But as you heard us, we were talking about the Atlanta Hawks. We talked about the South Fulton Scholarship Student Athlete Luncheon that's taking place tomorrow for the South Fulton High Schools, Westlake, Banneker, Langston Hughes, Tri-Cities, Creekside. So yeah, we're excited to be with those young people and the coaches tomorrow. So hey, youth education and sports, the Student Athlete Achievement Program, our materials, the Student Athlete Playbook. So hey, we're excited to be with them tomorrow, man. And we'll definitely be posting on our social media outlets tomorrow after the luncheon. So stay tuned for that. And also you can go to our YouTube page, youtube.com/@Student Athlete Playbook, the @ symbol Student Athlete Playbook. It'll take you right to our channel. You can check out all our Student Athlete Playbook video conversations, our podcast, and all our other videos, topic videos, video shorts, everything that we're doing with young people. And also we have our virtual mentoring sessions the first Saturday of each month. So Saturday, I believe that is April the 4th, we'll be having our next virtual session at 11 o'clock a.m. So visit our website. All the information will be right there on the front page, and we'll have a great time. So awesome.
All right. I think I'm back now. I think I can hear you, Barry Brown. Praise the Lord.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Goat Strategies, Dub Deuce just said he can hear both of us. So we just couldn't hear each other for some reason. I can hear you, but you couldn't hear me for some reason.
Right. Yeah, something funky was going on with the browser. I don't know what happens, man. I think it's a scam by Microsoft because it only happens when I use the Firefox browser. All of a sudden, like it just sparks out like, no, you must go back to Google. You must go to the other one.
Yeah. Use that Chrome, man. Chrome is the safest way to go in most cases.
Yeah. And I use Chrome most of the time. The only problem I run into with Chrome is that for some reason I'm loud and clear as far as the normal talking, but as far as like when the music plays, man, it sounds real crazy. So I'm not sure exactly what
Oh wow.
What goes on there. But anyway, it kind of is what it is. Well, I just got notification from the Way family that he's going to cut it close. He probably won't get here about 10 minutes to 8. But that's all right. We'll keep it moving. Let's shift now. Talk about the Atlanta Falcons. Same thing like the Hawks.
Okay.
They're taking that move about going bargain basement and to try to see if they can make a team that's going to make a run. No, seriously, that's what if you look at all the stuff they've done in free agency, all them guys like on 1-year deals, $1 million minimum, $2 million, they're not trying to pay anyone. Like, we're not doing it. So what do you think about what they've done so far, Barry? Like, first, let's go to obviously the biggest signing, which was bringing in, we talked a little bit about it, they're bringing in Tua Tagovailoa to now be the quarterback, just in case Mr. Michael Penix is not ready to roll, start the season. Do you like that pick? Do you think you should have went in a direction? What do you think about Tua coming to the forefront and being an Atlanta Falcon?
Well, yeah, under the circumstances, after we paid a quarterback $100 million for basically nothing, this was a good move financially to have a regroup season. Now, as we've seen with the Hawks, this could play out very well. I'm a Tua fan. I actually like Tua. My only concern with Tua is his concussions. He's probably one another concussion away from ending his career. So I don't want that to happen in Atlanta Hawks uniform. So I'm praying that he stays healthy from that standpoint. But I like the fact that they went and got another left-hander. So when Michael Penix comes back, the ball is spinning basically the same way. It's not a right hand, left hand situation that the receivers have to adjust to. And so now you have a veteran quarterback that has played very well at times for the Miami Dolphins and destroyed the Atlanta Falcons just last season. I'm here in Atlanta. So
they made him look like all pro, bro. Ridiculous.
So you're talking about a quarterback that actually make plays. So our offensive line is they have to be challenged in the fact that they have to keep this guy protected. And if they do so with a running game from Bijan Robinson, man, and the wide receivers that we have with the flex tight end of Pitts, man, the offense could actually be much better next year under Tua than it ever was under Michael Penix. So it's going to be an interesting thing. We're getting them on that. I call it the Russell Wilson deal, where the Miami Dolphins are paying him a lot of money and we're paying him a meal. So, shout out to Tua for getting his money. And let's go Falcons. Let's put a competitive team on the field and let's see what happens. We might catch lightning in the bottle with Tua and make some moves, because I think our defense, we're going to make some adjustments for our defensive end that's going to be suspended for sure. But if Walker can step up and we get, I think we signed a couple of defensive ends, some edge rushers. So I think we're going to be fine, Jonathan, and go into the season, and we'll just see what happens, man. But I'm not looking for anything big, man. What we won 8 games last year, 8 and 9 again, 2 years in a row. So I who can't say they can go 8 and 9, 9 and 8, 10 and 7 possibly. Let's see what they can do.
What'd your man say there? What's he say?
So Goat Strategy says watching all the UGA Falcons fans cheering for Tua this season will be too funny. 2nd and 26. Dub Deuce, Goat Strategies, you right about that. First of all, well, Dub, I'm not a UGA fan, so I was too happy about 2nd and 26 because I called it. I actually said, hey man, this the kid they've been talking about that's on the bench behind oh man, goodness gracious, Jalen. This was the guy behind Jalen with the Philadelphia Eagles now, but he was behind him at Alabama, and now look at what he did. He came in. Saban did one of the biggest switches you could ever do at that time, and put a freshman quarterback in that threw the game-winning touchdown pass on a bomb play, and all it was just bad coaching, Dub, as you know, bad positioning, and the safeties, they played a game. The safety was out of position and could not get back over to cover over the top.
Right.
So I don't know what he was thinking, but he was out of position. And Tua threw a perfect ball to Devontae Smith that now plays with Jalen in Philly. So how about that? So great job. And Tua, come to Atlanta and bring some of that Tua magic to the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, so it's funny because I actually had a chance to cover that game. I wasn't at the game, but I covered a lot of the events around the game. And I remember watching that because they had us in a holding area. And I said, what on earth? I mean, dude, when I saw the sack, I said, man, well, first of all, everybody gets on at the Falcons about 28-3, but people forget that the Georgia Bulldogs were up, I think, 21-3 on Alabama in the third quarter, 21-10. They had them on the ropes, bro. And so Kirby, people talk about how good a coach Kirby was. He wasn't good that night. I mean, because they had Alabama on the deck, sir. They had them out and knocked out, and they messed around, and that, especially that play was just insane. You second and 26. There's no way. I'm gonna say it again. There's no way you can let a receiver get behind you on second and 26 in overtime. Right. That can't happen.
Yeah,
it just can't. Happen. Right, it's just ridiculous.
I agree with you.
Well, I tell you what can happen.
Man, he's in college football. I mean, they run that play every year. They show that play. They'll be showing that play forever, man, because it's one of the greatest moments.
Crazy. Right. Oh.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest moments in college football history, man. Actually,
no doubt.
I mean, the guts for a coach to put a freshman in that moment. Nah, man, that's an unbelievable decision to make. And I'm just gonna switch over to college basketball for a minute. It's almost as crazy. I think the Tua switch is crazier, but it's almost as crazy as what Pitino did the other day when the guy was 0 for 4 in the game. He tells the coach, "Hey, coach, run the play to me." And he's saying, "Wait a minute, bro, you ain't made a shot all night." And he went with it.
Right.
And the kid drive to the back and make, because I didn't even realize the kid was left-handed, but he went with his right hand. So, hey man, so the things these coaches do sometimes in pressure situation shows how great they are. It shows they're going with their feeling. They're not looking at the analytics. They're going with their gut feeling. And shout out to Saban and Pitino for those moves, man. Unbelievable.
Hey man, there's no doubt about it. And and so far March Madness has not disappointed. We've had some thrillers. We've had, of course, the run by High Point. People like, who made their run? And even Kennesaw State, they gave Gonzaga all they wanted, man, for up until the last 5 or 6 minutes, and they just kind of they couldn't hold on. I one last comment here from off of social media, and then we're gonna jump on. I think we have the Way family in the building. Go ahead. What's your man Goat Strategy saying now?
Goat Strategy says it was more of better offense connection than the DBs being out of position. Remember, the Miami Hurricanes had the exact same play opportunity in this past championship game. Yes, you're right, Dub Deuce. However, let's just be totally real here. The quarterback at Miami, I'm drawing a blank. What's his name, Jonathan? The quarterback at Miami.
I can't think of either. The guy that did left Georgia. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the guy that then basically became wealthy from college football alone from University of Georgia, Miami. But him, y'all know who I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
He does not have the same arm strength as Tua had at Alabama, not by far. Two different kind of quarterbacks, and might have been the same play, but you have to have the, as they call them, you got to have them dogs to run them kind of plays and be successful and execute them. And he's just not the same quarterback as Tua was in college. Nah, nowhere close.
Well, the biggest thing is, I mean, I think that the arm strength was there, but it's just a situation, man. It's clutch. You got to be clutch. I mean, that's really the biggest thing. You got to be a clutch player. And if you're not clutch, these things are going to happen. Carson Beck, that was the guy we're looking for. Carson Beck.
Well, he underthrew the ball. Yep. It was the same stuff he was doing at Georgia. I mean, he in crunch, like you said, clutch moments, he good for an interception. So I'm just gonna say this: he didn't have the arm strength to make that play, because that kid, watch this, the kid for Indiana, he wasn't out of position though. He was going to the ball. The ball was underthrown. So either way, I don't know if that play is completed either way, because the ball was underthrown. So we'll never know. Right. But the kid, I don't believe that kid was so far out of position as the guy from Georgia was. I just don't know.
Matter of fact, I didn't even see any Georgia players in the screen until baseball was in his hand. Like, let's go. That's it. Well, listen, we got to grab in our guests. They popped in. The Way family's in the building. Gentlemen, welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. What's going on?
How everybody doing, man? You know, we're trying to squeeze in this, it's trying to squeeze in the camera, but how everybody doing?
Doing good, gentlemen.
See, that's what happens when you have a family of football players. You got two linebackers and a running back all trying to get in the same screen.
I'm gonna pivot to the side because it's not about me. So I'm gonna let these two handle it. I'm gonna fall back.
Well, first of all, we want to talk to a young man that has made a transition that I think we're going to see more and more in the NIL era. Gentleman playing for Division II SIAC, and now watching the screen, boys. Let's see what it says here. I'll pop it up there. He's an Akron Zip. Curtis Way, back on spring break. Talk to us a little bit, man, about your early experiences up there in Akron. Just kind of what's been going on for you up there.
How y'all doing? Everything's been going pretty good. Pretty quick. What I learned there so far is that raw talent will only get you so far, and that what you do off the field really shows up. And the talent you put on off the field and on the field is totally different.
They talk about stuff you do off the field. You talking about in terms of training or technique? What are some of the things that kind of a little bit different than what you used to do at Clark Atlanta?
Realizing that you got to go back to your fundamentals. Your fundamentals is key. You got to work on your craft. And the thing that Deion Sanders said, as long as you always work on your craft, the money will follow you anywhere you go.
Yeah, and the NIL, man, for all you guys is big stuff now. Crazy enough, the Georgia weather has not been spectacular, but how you adjusting been a little cool up in Ohio than it is down here in Georgia, I'm sure.
Man, boy, it's so cold up there. They hit the negatives up there.
Right, we can see it, man. That clearly is like that's the only thing I miss the South. Barry, you've been there, done that. Played at Presbyterian. A lot of people don't know who are watching the broadcast, but Barry is part of the last Clayton County team to win an actual state football title. Questions you might have for young Mr. Curtis Way as he's making this transition from Clark Atlanta to Akron.
Curtis, first of all, congratulations again, man. I remember talking to you and your dad and your brother before on Real Talk Sports, so definitely salute to you and the entire family, man, on the opportunity up there at the University of Akron. What would you tell the younger guys? I like what you just said about going back to your fundamentals. Is there anything else you would like to share with the guys that are coming behind you? You got your brother right there that's coming behind you, but what else would you want to say to these young guys to specifically pay attention to right now if they're attempting to become like Curtis Way?
I would say, number one, study that playbook. I mean, as long as you know what you're doing, you always find your way on the field. No matter what it's on defense, special teams, and special teams is key too. On your way on special teams is the quickest. Get on special teams the quickest way to earn playing time on the field.
Wow, I like that. Now, I'm gonna shout out to your dad on that one right there, Curtis, because I work with a lot of young people, man, and you are the first current college athlete I've spoken to in a recently that has said anything about special teams. I'm talking about nobody talks about special teams. But like you say, it's a critical part of the game, and it is actually the fastest way to get on the field. So, and Jonathan, I'm glad we're talking about this because Curtis, you just made me think about it. My freshman year, I was the starting nickelback. I was a freshman. I had a senior playing in front of me. I was a cornerback, but I ended up being the starting nickelback. But you absolutely right, man. I was on the kickoff team as a true freshman. So you're right, Curtis. The fastest way to get on the field is special teams. I love that, man. All young people watching this tonight understand this. Hey, know the playbook. Get down on every drill and be first in line. Hustle, and you'll mess around and be on the special teams, and that's your entry to getting into the game. Hey, thank you. That's great advice right there, man. That's great.
Yes, sir. I'd like to add something else if you don't mind.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
One of the main differences also is the mindset from the D2 to the D1. When at the D1 level, everyone's invested. Everyone's obsessed with themselves. You see, that's what separates from D2 to D1. D2 players, they just use it for school. Most of them use it from school just to have their way to pay through college. Mm-hmm. But at D1, it's a lifestyle. They're trying to make something for themselves. They're trying to feed their family.
Wow. Let me ask you this because Jonathan, he alluded to it earlier. So now you're going from a D2 school, which, NIL, you talking about D2 and HBCU. So you talking about NIL collective money is very, very low if it exists at all. Then you're going to a school that has some kind of NIL and collective in place. I like what you just said about everybody's obsessed with themselves. Do you feel more pressure now that there's money on the line at the collegiate level, or do you still feel the same, like, hey, I just got to go out here and make something happen? What is the pressure like when you start talking about this mindset thing?
I say both.
Okay.
Yeah, I say both, and wanting to keep yourself at a high standard, pretty much the whole time. Whether it's just sitting there in the meetings, taking notes, asking questions, just trying to be invested. Make them show that you care. You feel me? And
right.
And with the money involved, you got to show your worth. So I feel like yes, there is more pressure in there because what they're offering, you got to prove it to them that you're worth, or even more, that you're worth even more than what they're offering.
I love it.
I understand. I want to ask you real quick before I bring your brother on. I heard, speaking of NIL, there's a rumor that if you like to play video games, in fact, we might see you in the game, and that, if we see you enough, there might be some residual dollars that filter your way. Is that part of NIL package that we see going on today?
That's actually totally separate.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole separate thing.
Again, congratulations to you, man. Great stuff. Like you say, again, moving from being a Panther to a Zip. That's Curtis Wade, defensive end. I tell everybody, if this guy gets about another inch of lean, come off that edge, we're gonna have something here, sir. Yes, indeed, we're gonna have something. Listen, I know sitting next to you, another young man that is achieving great things, just coming off the big Nike camp in Carrollton, Georgia. We got Caden Way. Caden, what's happening, man? How you been, brother?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Talk to us a little bit about your experience at the Nike camp.
Really, it was a great experience for me. Going out there to compete with the best. It was a great atmosphere. People really getting at it. Nobody wanted to lose. Everybody went out there to get better. Everybody went out there with something to prove. Really, just nobody wanted to, it was just straight competing, straight dogs out there. And it was just a great time.
Man, we look forward to all the stuff you're going to do next year. Mm-hmm. I guess you're RB1, and then you're still going to play some defense, playing safety as well.
Yes, sir. I'm starting safety next year too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there we go. We see that we have a two-way stud here. Guy says, "Look, I want to just, hey, I tell you, guys. So when I first started covering Caden, I say, hey man, he's like my man Travis Hunter Light. I said, he told that rock, but he still wants to go out there and lay the wood every now and then. So payback. Listen, guys, we appreciate you guys coming on. I know it's been kind of a rush thing. You guys come out at the last minute, but we want to stay in contact with you guys as you go forward into the spring camp and stuff like that. So tell your dad, we're gonna hook them up, maybe get you guys each on your own phone where you can do this. I can send you guys a link and we can really have some fun with this. Listen, man, congratulations to both of you guys. We look forward to some good stuff. Hey, Corey, I know in the background, bro. Good luck, willing. We'll see you tomorrow, man, at work.
Yes, sir. Like clockwork.
There he is. Hey guys, that's the original right there behind you. That's the original. Hey, we're gonna be in your neck of the woods actually tomorrow. Coach Barry Brown is doing a big luncheon tomorrow in South Fulton, and of course, one of the high schools will be your alma mater, Westlake High School, where Big Papa was a linebacker there. Yeah, man, we'll be showing them some love, sir.
Shout out to class 97.
There it is, the best class ever. All right, gentlemen. See you soon.
Thanks for having us.
All right, guys.
It's the Wade family, man. You gotta love it, man. When you see that two generations like that, and both sons wanting to play some defense like that, that's cool stuff. It really is good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I love the relationship that you're building with the Wade family, Jonathan, and I love to see them interact with each other, man. You can see the love, and one thing I always like to see is that father leading the way, man.
Yes,
so hey, shout out to all the fathers out there standing up and being active with their kids, man, and making sure that they get into where they need to get to. So, hey, shout out to the Wade family, man. That's big.
That's right. No doubt. Well, look, guys, let me see if I can make this my little sound effects work. I don't know if it'll do anything. That's the wrong one. I'm trying to get the applause. I'm trying to get that working here.
Let's see.
Got a little music.
I can't hear it on my side, but okay.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. We'll get the bugs out of here. Well, listen, guys, one thing we always want to make sure to do that before we sign off on this program, we want you guys to know more about our guests. So we do it each and every week the same way. Mr. Barry Brown, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, sir. Jonathan, always a pleasure, man, being on Real Talk Sports with you. And so I truly appreciate it. Again, I am Barry Brown, author of the #1 book for youth student athletes, the Student Athlete Playbook, Success in the Classroom, Sports, and Life, and also a member of the leadership team for Youth Education and Sports, the nonprofit organization that helps young people find out who they are, develop a plan on who they want to be, and then give them the tools to develop into that person that they say they want to be and that they're destined to be. So thank you again, Jonathan. And hey, young people, parents, coaches, every day you have an opportunity to be great on purpose.
Here it is, Mr. Barry Brown. Thank you, sir. All right, guys, before I sign off, I do it each and every time when I sign off to the broadcast. I want to let you guys know that there is another side of me. I'm actually a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so you see everything going on in this world today. I don't know if you're aware, but things are kind of wrapping up here. So here's what I want to tell you. If you don't have a relationship with God, and how you do that is through a relationship with his son, Jesus Christ. I want to tell you, it's real easy to do it. Number one, repent of your sins. Now you say, hey, man, I'm a pretty good guy. No worries. Here's how this works. In order to get into heaven, you got to be perfect, and nobody's perfect. So here's how you meet God's requirements. Number one, you repent of your sins, believe that his son, Jesus Christ, came here both fully man and fully God, died for your sins, but more importantly, rose from the dead. And if you do, two great things happen to you. Number one, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number two, an adopted child of God with all the rights therein. That means you can now go to God like a heavenly parent, ask him for anything that you need and desire, and according to his will, he'll give it to you. And when you die, you go to that wonderful, spectacular place called heaven, where there's no pain, no pandemic. You never get old, you never die, you never cry. And guess what? You're with all the people of love. You even get a chance to see God face to face. And you're in the most beautiful place ever created called heaven. Streets paved with a gold so pure it's translucent. And you avoid that nasty place called hell, where all the things I just mentioned that are in heaven won't be in hell. It's dark, it's dreary, it's fiery, it's extremely painful. And you are locked up with the devil, all the demons, and the most terrible people ever to live upon the earth. I don't know about you guys, but I like option number 1 instead of option number 2. All right, until next time we get back together again, I simply say as I do each week, God bless you and have a wonderful rest of the day or evening, whichever may apply. So long and take care. See you.